So to continue our little journey of ellipses, now we're going to start moving them. So just to be clear, I'm going to move them left, right, up, down. I am not going to rotate them. So like if this is your ellipse, I'm not going to turn it on its axis to go this way. Okay, so we're just going to keep it basic. Left, right, up, down is all we're going to do. So we have graph the ellipse and give the location of its foci. So I've got an x minus 10 squared over 16 plus a y plus 7 squared over 49 equals 1. Okay, so now be careful because this tells you how far left and right you went, but you always change the signs when you pull these out. So your center of your ellipse is now going to be at positive 10, negative 7. So your center is at positive 10, negative 7. And then where did you go from there? So if I draw a really horrible sketch of this, positive 10, negative 7 is going to be about right here. Okay. From the center, I'm going to go left and right 4. Okay, so if this is at 10 on the x-axis, I need to go left 4 and right 4, which I just said that backwards. Okay, but if this is at 10, then right 4 is going to be 14, and left 4 is going to be at 6. Okay, and then what is your y coordinate? Because you didn't move up or down yet, so your y coordinate is still negative 7. Okay, and now from the center, I need to go up and down. Well, how far up and down am I going to go? I'm going to go up and down 7. So I need to go up 7, which is going to slap that thing right on the axis, and I'm going to go down 7. So I didn't move left and right for the vertices, which means your x-coordinates will stay the same on those. So this one is going to be 10 something, and this one is going to be 10 something. Well, from the center of negative 7, I went up 7, and I went down 7. Okay, so there's your lovely little ellipse, which is supposed to look like an oval. Okay, so basically they're going to narrow it down for you. This looks like it's in quadrant 2. This looks like it's in quadrant 2. This is quadrant 4. This is quadrant 4. Well, is it tall or is it wide? So which one is it? So he is going to be tall. Okay, so it's going to be C. No, it's not. It's going to be B. All right, now from your foci. Okay, so just to keep this thing straight, here's what we're going to do. From the center, my foci will be located up and down. Okay. So it's easier to just fill in the parts that we know so far. So I know I'm going to go over 10 for both of them. Now, from the center, I've got a negative 7 something and a negative 7 something. Okay, so this is going to tell me how far up, and it's going to tell me how far down. So are you okay? All I did was rewrite the center coordinates twice, but gave myself a little bit of room on the vertical change. So how do I determine what my foci are? Take the larger equals the smaller plus c squared. So 49 minus 16 is going to be 33. And then I got to take a square root. So I end up with positive negative root 33. And that's why I wrote it this way. Okay. So I'm going to go from the center. I'm going to go up root 33. And I'm going to go down root 33. So if those were pretty numbers, you would just add and subtract them to the negative 7. But they're not pretty numbers, so just leave them like that. Okay, so that tells you the location of your foci. All right, let's do it again. We have 16x squared. So 16x squared plus 25y squared. And then minus 32x plus 100y. And then minus 284 equals 0. So this thing is a huge fat mess. First thing I want to do is organize. Okay, so I want all my x's clumped together. I want all my y's clumped together. So this is going to be a 16x squared. I'm not crossing the axis. Or what am I saying? I'm not crossing the equal sign. And so don't change the signs. We're just picking up stuff and rearranging. So this is going to be a negative 32x. Okay, then I've got a plus 25y squared plus a 100y. And I know I want my constant on the other side, so I'm going to kick him over. So he's a positive 284. Now, we're going to complete the square, okay? The issue is to complete the square, I want my lead coefficient to be 1, and I want my middle term, or what's fixing to be my middle term, to be even. So that's good, that's not. So I need to factor out of 16. Okay, so that gives me an x squared minus 2x, okay? X squared minus, what am I writing? I tell you. All right, minus 2x. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room because I'm fixing a complete square. Okay, so plus, what can I pull out of both of those so that that coefficient is 1? I can pull out a 25. So that's going to give me y squared plus 4y, and then leave a little bit of space, equals 284. Okay, so this is why you're leaving some space here, because I'm going to go ahead and complete this square. But remember, whatever I do on the inside has a 16 attached to it. Okay, so how do I complete the square? Take half of what's fixing to be your middle term and square it. So half of negative 2 is negative 1. And negative 1 times itself is positive 1. So I didn't just create a positive 1 on the left side of the equation. I actually created a positive 16. Okay, so I need to create that on both sides. And then do it again. So half of 4 is 2, squared is 4. But what did you really create on the left? You really created 4 times 25, because there's 25 of these sets of parentheses. Okay, so 4 times 25 is 100. So I'm going to add, that says plus 100. Okay, and now the whole point of completing the square is because I can rewrite that chunk of parentheses as a set squared. So I now have 16 x minus 1 squared, because what are two numbers that multiply to 1 that add up to negative 2? So this would factor down to x minus 1 times x minus 1, but I shortcut it to x minus 1 squared. So then plus 25, and then what is this going to be? Y plus 2 squared. 284 and 16 is 300, plus 100 is 400. Okay, and now we should be in familiar territory, because I want this to be equal to 1, so divide everything by 400. So 16 over 400 reduces to 25. So that becomes a 1 over 25. And then plus 25 over 400 reduces to 1/16. So that's y plus 2 over 16 equals 400. Okay, so now what do? We need to draw pretty pictures. So where did I go? Where is my new center? My new center is at positive 1, negative 2. Okay, and then if I draw it, I'm right here. And then where did I go left and right? I went 5 left and right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then how far did I go up and down? I went up and down 4. So nobody even stopped me. This is a 1. Where'd that come from? All right, because 400 divided by 400 is 1. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to go up and down 4. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's a little bit wider than he is tall. So I am looking for, he is a little bit wider than he is tall. So it must be D. And then I need the location of the foci. So since he's wider, okay, that means, and again, from the center, so count this out just a second. If I'm at 1, negative 2, so I move, this has an x coordinate of 1. How far left and right did I go? I went 5. Okay, so this is 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Okay, this is 1, and then I went right 5, so that's a 6. So this one is negative 4, comma, negative 2. This one is 6, comma, negative 2. And then your x coordinate will stay the same. But how far up and down did you go? I went up and down 4. So from negative 2 going up 4, well, what did I do? My goodness. I just wonder about my brain sometimes. All right, so I went up 4. So from negative 2, that's going to give me a positive 2. And from negative 2, I went down 4, so that's going to give me negative 6. Okay, so where are your foci? Your foci are going to be on the longer axis. So from the center, your x coordinate will change. So my center is going to be 1, comma, 2, 1, comma, 2. And then to find out how far left and right I go, I just need to find the value for the foci. So I have 25 equals 16 plus c squared. So subtract 16, I get 9. So take a square root and I get plus or minus 3. So this is going to be a plus 3 and that's going to be a minus 3. So on this one, well, on the previous one, I had scary roots. Well, this I know how to do. What is 1 plus 3? Last time I checked, it was 4. Okay, what is 1 minus 3? So he'll be a negative 2, 2. So those are the locations of your foci. And let's see, I think we've got 2 more. Let me see if I can squish this in so we don't go to another video. All right, so I'm going to let you do this one just because it's very similar to what we just did. You're going to complete the square, so follow the same steps. This one, it says find the solution set for each system by graphing both systems' equations in the same rectangular coordinate system, finding their points of intersection. Okay, so I need to know what this one is first. So if I just because it's easier, okay? So if I've got a 4x minus a 2y, I'm going to solve that. I know it's linear, so I know it's going to make some sort of a line. So I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. And then I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. So negative 4 over negative 2 is 2. 8 over negative 2 is negative 4. So the first thing I'm looking for is a line with a positive slope that hits the y-axis at negative 4. So here's a line with a positive slope. Here's a line with a positive slope. Those are wrong. Okay, so does he hit at negative 4? Here's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Does he hit at negative 4, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4? Okay, so the lines, I've narrowed it down to these two. Now I'm going to do the ellipse. So the ellipse says I've got 16 squared plus 4y squared. Sorry, 16x squared plus 4y squared equals 64. Okay, so divide everything by 64. So I get 1/4 of x squared plus 1/16 of y squared equals 1. So I'm looking for something that's tall and skinny instead of something wide. Okay, so which one is tall and skinny? It's going to be this one. And now if you look at that, you can see where your 2 points of intersection are because they're going to be at the 2 vertices. So below that, it's nothing hard. Okay, you could solve this for y like I did here, and you'll get a 2x minus 4. And you could slap that in here and then just work with your x's, okay? But instead of doing that, just read the graph. So where do they share their points of intersection? This one is going to be at 2, 0. And then where is this one going to be? It's at 0, negative 4. Okay, so you can literally read it off the graph. All right, so the last one we've got, which we have 1 minute for-ish, is going to be an elliptical ceiling of a building is, okay? So I have my pretty picture right here. I need to find the standard form of the equation. So the building is 66 feet long, and it's 22 feet tall. So what we did to make it easier to mess with is I just centered the length on 0. So what's half of 66? I went over here to negative 33, and I went over here to positive 33. Okay, so this is an elliptical shape. So pretty. Okay, and then how tall is he? He's 22 feet tall. So this point right here is at 22. Okay, so I want to find the standard form of the equation. Well, you can imagine that I could finish this out down here. Okay, so bottom line is he wider or is he taller? He's wider. How far left and right from the center did you go? You went 33. So I've got x squared, because he's wide, over 33 squared, plus y squared over 22 squared, because if you did drop down, it would be by 22 feet. Equals 1. And so now if I want to finish that out, 33 squared is 1089. So I have x squared over 1089 plus 22 squared is going to give me 484 equals 1. And then it says where, if he stands at one of the focus points, where is he standing? So from the center, I need to find out what my focus point is. So I'm going to do 1089 equals 484 plus c squared. So 1089